in terms of what we've done with you, obviously the Shell Step programme, the SimLab programme, and also we've worked with you on the work placement, student work placement programmes. And each had its own merits really. So the Shell Step programme first of all gave us the opportunity to attract a graduate calibre person into the organisation with a very real project and business need. For us it was around accreditations and compliance, which was at that time a nice to have. The student that we had from the programme was exceptional. She went back and finished her degree and we kept in touch, and then we actually created a role for her, which was a project management role, and Tolu's still here with us today, and without a doubt that programme, that calibre of intelligence, I think we would have struggled to attract as an SME business in the area that we're in. Has definitely delivered some competitive advantage across all of our business areas, particularly in our public sector tendering activities, and more recently in our games card and global sourcing activities. SimLab was a very different project. It was around assessing current capacity availability, and to really help us make some decisions about capital expenditure. Again, it was about sharing knowledge with the university using the simulation software, which gave us a real idea of where perhaps we could milk further capacity from existing machinery, and really where the return on investment criteria was going to come in. And again, that without that project, that would have been very much sort of, you know, finger in the air, a bit of forecasting with no definite sort of real-time modelling, which has been very useful for us. Again, with the work placement, it's different again, but last summer we had a gap where a permanent member of staff left. We weren't really sure whether we needed to recruit for that point, but we had a gap of about 8 weeks. So it was great to be able to work with someone from the university who was the right sort of academic standard, had an interest in customer service, and that filled a gap for us during the summer last year. I would obviously definitely recommend that other SMEs look to engage with Knowledge Doc. You know, again, each individual project has had its own merits, but I think that the overarching theme is that it's given an SME business with stretched resources and limited resources the ability to compete and deliver services that are akin to sort of the larger corporates. You know, business modelling, for example, I don't have the resources to be able to develop my own business modelling software. So to be able to work with someone like Knowledge Doc and bring that resource in-house has been phenomenal for us. And it's helped us make some very tough management decisions much more accurately. The Shell Step scheme, I think the main thing, again, is it's getting this graduate calibre talent into an industry, first of all, which has struggled to recruit sort of high calibre talent, but also into an area. You know, this area isn't particularly known for its career prospects. So to have been able to work with that person for a 9-week person, immerse them in the culture of the organisation, and really have an understanding during that period of what business benefits could be developed without committing to an overhead and committing to sort of the HR legislation or whatever that you have to go through. And similarly to the work placement, you know, very flexible, atypical working, which enables us to deliver what we need to as a business, but without adding to the overhead costs. So I think this whole flexibility, sort of use of resources when the business needs to, without you know, adding an increment to the business overheads is a massive advantage, as well as a skills transfer, you know, that you've learnt towards it. So I think each project has left us with a lasting legacy, a lasting piece of learning that will help us develop further.
I found out about the project through Knowledge Doc, and the initial brief of the project was to come into the company, Richard Edward Limited, and set up a quality management system, an ISO 9001 quality management system. It was to be done over an 8-week period, which is the initial placement time. And during those 8 weeks, what I learned over the course of the 8 weeks is that, because I have an engineering background and I have not worked in a professional company or on a professional level, and just working in an environment where you have targets and you have to meet them helped me, and to be able to sort of blend into a work environment, a normal work environment, and also being able to transfer my skills from university into the work environment also motivated me, and sort of gave me more courage as well when I got back into university. It just made me more confident, obviously, when I was learning things during the lectures, and you just start thinking, oh, I can apply this when I go back to work, or I can apply that when I go back to work. So that was great. And also meeting the expectations of my employers at the end of it was also great. The money did not hurt as well, so that was good. And just having something to do over the summer and not just sitting at home was fantastic as well. So that's my end of it. In terms of the company, what I brought into the company, it was more of setting up a system that wasn't there initially, because there was no background on 9001. They didn't have any experts in-house to set up the system. So me coming in was a major contribution. 9001 system was also going to help the company in contracts, because the next step for them was to move into the public sector, private sector, tendering contracts. And it's more long-term contracts, and that fed into the company's turnover at the end of the day. So the system I set up helped the company in achieving those contracts, or it took them on the step to achieving those contracts as well. So that was a major bonus. And as well, one of the things I did during that course as a bonus was also help set up other systems in HR as well. So everything was great over the 8 weeks.
So do you think placement schemes like this can help students develop their employability skills? And in your opinion, why should other students do similar things?
Well, it's mostly useful for people who if you haven't worked before in an environment where you have to apply what you've learned, because the point of going to university is to sort of, when you're done, use whatever skills or whatever you've learned in there and apply it into the real world, and sort of obviously get paid for it at the end of the day. But it's just coming for that period during summer to work in a company over the 8-week period it's going to be a bonus to any student, because you will learn so much. You can't just learn everything in the classroom, you have to learn it in the real environment as well. So you will learn softer skills from teamwork, communication, oral and verbal communication. Apart from that, you will also learn how to, sometimes technical skills as well. You'll be able to put that into practice as well. And just seeing that work and seeing the end results as well I think it's a great motivator.